Hey everyone, Spicy Toast Gaming here. New set of weekly adventures. So again, just want to give you some tips on how to potentially clear these, especially with maybe some lower level champions. So up first for the 4.5, pretty easy one this week. So we have Crafty Portals. Each round the player's first Bandle City card cost one less to play. And then Lingering Shadows, when a unit dies, grant a random unit in that player's hand 1/1. So this can help you and the enemy, and then this Crafty Portals just helps you. Really pretty easy as far as modifiers. You can really go for someone like Nora or even Yuumi here for the Crafty Portals and get that extra cost reduction to help you out. Or you can try to go for the Lingering Shadows and really focus on maybe a lot of the Shadow Isles decks that have a lot of units dying, such as maybe like a Mordekaiser, Thresh, Viego, Kindred. Any of them would also work here. But honestly, for this modifier, pretty easy to just ignore. So if you just have another solid champion that you think can probably handle whatever they throw at you, then you could really use them here. These modifiers are really not ones you have to pay attention to. You can play around them if you want. Like I went for Nora, I was able to absolutely stomp this out. My Nora is just 4 stars, so nothing crazy there. So overall, actually a pretty easy challenge this week. The 5.5 though, up against Galio, we have Nature's Revenge. When the foe gains the attack token, they summon a sapling, and the sapling is obviously going to be a bit bigger because of the deadly power. And so if you are playing anyone susceptible to challenger units, be careful of that. We also have All Things Grow Cold, double the stats of and grant Fearsome to the first unit the foe plays each round, and then obviously the deadly power as well. So these are going to not only be doubled as far as stats, but then they're going to be even increased again because of the deadly. So the main thing here is just the enemy having these massive units that will really give you a hard time. And then for Galio, he gets summoned very easily because he gets summoned when the enemy has 20 health on their side, or when they end the round with at least 20 health. And with these giant units as far as stats, that's normally going to happen. Also, I think this Galio only works with Senna. Normally for the Galio adventure, he can roll Senna, Malphite, or Shyvana. I played this a couple times, also on stream, and everyone has only gotten Senna. So just be aware that's who you're going to be going up against. And they actually summon Senna at the start of the game, and she speeds up their slow speed spells to fast, and she also has a lot of kill spells. Now for this one, I think your best bet is just going for a control champion, especially Yasuo or Morgana. Ashe can also work, but I think Yasuo or Morgana would be better. Doesn't really matter how big the enemy stats are if they can't really use their units, if they're just constantly stunned or immobilized. For me, I just tested this out with 4-star Morgana and was able to clear it fairly easily. So even if you're running some lower star champions, Yasuo or Morgana, definitely the way to go for this one. Last up then, we have the 6.5, which is an interesting one. So first, let's talk about the Broken Blade. When the player plays a card, increase the cost of other copies of it everywhere by 2. So often, especially for the 6.5, we try to cheese this with some 3-star champions, such as like Master Yi or Diana, that are just able to play a whole bunch of their champion spell, turn 1, buffing themselves up to a massive amount, and just rushing down the enemy. That's completely broken here. That's not going to work at all, because this cost increase is going to completely shut that down. So just any champion that plays the same card over and over again, or just even more than one time in a game, you're really going to have a hard time here. Now, the inevitable round start grant the foe's units everywhere 1/1. This is also going to be pretty tough. Not only is it buffing up their board, but it's also buffing up their hand and deck. And while it says 1/1, it's actually going to be more, because this is just buffing up their units, but then deadly when the foe summons a unit, grant its stats equal to half its stats rounded up. So it's already getting buffed up from this, but then when they play it, it gets buffed up even more. So these both are going to synergize pretty roughly together to give the enemy just tons of extra stats. Now, it's not going to be as many upfront stats as the 5.5, but still their units are going to get pretty big. Now, I think for this one, Aurelion Sol, great if you can play him. Quite often you're able to clear through without playing a lot of the same cards. It will make getting the powers that you get a created card every round a little bit worse. So if you can with Aurelion Sol, try to go for Spellweaver Symphony, because that'll just give you a random, essentially created card every time you get the attack token. So that can really help you out. But one that I also found worked out quite well was Viego. Now, yes, my Viego is 6 stars, but even without the 6 stars, I think Viego is going to be pretty good here. For one, with Viego, you're not actually playing a lot of the same cards. You're summoning a lot of Encroaching Mists, but you're not playing Encroaching Mists. So normally for the Broken Blade, that's not really going to be a problem for you. Also, from your 2-star with Viego, you get some built-in cost reduction, which can really circumvent the Broken Blade as well. So if you do happen to play a unit once and you have another copy in hand, normally that other copy can also get cost reduced down. Also, Viego has some pretty good scaling. So I think if you have a lower star Viego, even like a 3 or 4-star, I think you're going to be pretty good here. Now, it's still going to be tough, but I think Viego or Aurelion Sol is probably the best bet for the 6.5. Now, for the Aurelion Sol, I'd probably try to go for a setup like this, getting that Starforge Gauntlets, getting that extra starting mana, and then the potentially champions when you invoke or manifest. Spellweaver Symphony, fantastic for being able to give you these random fleeting cards when you get the attack token to really help get the cost reduction to reduce down your champions. And these are just different cards to be playing. And then Crown Guard Inheritance, since Aurelion Sol levels when you play him, you get that rally. If you don't have some of these, some options to switch them out. Deceiver's Crest, if you don't have Aurelion Sol at 4 stars yet, this can really help you out. So when I level up, create a copy of my champion spell in hand, it costs 0 this round. So that is going to be the Skies Descend. This is what he plays. If you have him at 4 stars, he plays this automatically. But if you don't have it at 4 stars, you can kind of have 4 stars at home and be able to drop that when you play Aurelion Sol, just try to wipe the enemy board. Overall, I think Aurelion Sol will be pretty solid here. And then we do have Viego. Now, you don't need 6-star Viego, but you should try to have your Viego as close to level 30 as possible, and hopefully you have some good relics on him. So some ones to go with. This is a build I really like. Disciple of Shadows, Spellweavers, and Portal Pals. With this, you want to really stay within your region because both of these scale off of your region. And if you can stay in Shadow Isles, these both work out exceptionally well for you. Then Disciple of Shadows giving you some great cost reduction. Now, some other options, Spectral Scissors, great for Viego to be able to summon like some more Encroaching Mists potentially, or just more ephemeral units with this, give them some more power. Also, you can pair with Starforge Gauntlets if you have it. That also works out pretty well. Going for Beast Within or just any of the Overwhelm relics if you don't have them at 4 stars, also quite helpful. And then going for one of the Strike relics if you don't have some of these options like Stalker's Blade or the Gatebreaker, both very good. Viego scales up quite a lot from your Encroaching Mists because you're playing a bunch of Encroaching Mists. They're all buffing themselves and allied Viegos up. So normally by the time you play him, he can really just have some massive stats. So you can go for Stalker's Blade to try to get some more kills going, or you can also just go for Gatebreaker and drop him to nuke the Nexus. Some solid options if you don't have some of these epic relics. All right, I hope this was able to help you out. If it was, a like and subscribe is greatly appreciated. Good luck clearing these sets of nightmares, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.